Righto. Live on YouTube. Look at the state of me. Look, I've got holes in my top. I've been working on my car. As you know, if you're new to the channel, we do this live. There's no dress rehearsal. There's no makeup department. This is who I am. There's sometimes I come in here wearing a little bit of Hugo Boss. Other times I come in here in between when I'm working. So today I'm working. I've been working on a BMW that I've got, an old 1990s BMW. So that's why I've got dirty hands. But I'm organic. I am as it is. I'm natural. I don't care what I look like. To be fair, it's what we're saying. So a friend of mine this morning, hopefully you should all be able to hear this okay. I've just tried to actually, how can I share this? Oh, I can't. Yes, I can, but I brought my computer over. Damn, if someone can share this to my Facebook timeline, that would be fabulous. If you could, that'd be really nice of you. One of my friends, her son's got into a bit of a pickle in Liverpool, and the police have come to her house and let themselves in. Because they do. This is how they roll. They don't care now, public servants. No, it's the Gestapo. I can't even work it out how we've allowed this to happen. Have we allowed this to happen? I don't understand it. Anyway, she's telling them to get out of her bedroom, and they're beating her up, pretty much beating her up in her own house. And then they leave this silly little bit of paper which has got nothing on it. I mean, cracky, it's like we've descended into communism. It's like the old Bill of Spetsnaz now, the old Russian special services stormtroopers, you know. But what annoys me, right? I've got to be honest, right? I don't care if you're in the police. I don't care if you work for MI5. You watch my videos. I couldn't give a fuck. I really couldn't. What bothers me immensely is if you're in the old build, you know, generally you're a coward because when there's 1 million people in London, you say nothing. You do nothing. You're pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, the old bill. Absolutely. And I don't know why we pay for it. I really don't know why we sponsor them and pay for them. Honestly, I don't. Can't say that about the fire service. Fire service are brilliant. NHS, most part, pretty decent people. Doctors try their hardest to look after, although they peddle a lot of drugs. But at the end of the day, I've never known a country to have people that work in so-called public office beating the bejesus out of you. I don't understand it. I really don't. It bothers me. Bothers me immensely. Hi again, Roy. Sorry, mate. It's a bit carnal over on that Facebook. It cuts me live feeds like Patsy Ballantyne. All right, Dole. Actually, Pats, I'm going to make you a moderator if that's all right with you. So Patsy is now my moderator as well. Shirley F. Hello, Shirl. How are you, darling? Nice to see her. Shirley's one of my moderators. She's honestly, my mate's been attacked in her own house in Liverpool and they're squeezing her wrist and why ain't they so brave when there's 1 million people? Why ain't they getting the boot in when there's 1 million people? Hitler's thingy, they stayed you know, to the last man. They said we'll fight to the last man. Not our old Bill. 1 million people directing traffic. When there's one little deer in their house on her own and there's 10 police, oh, that's it. They're the big dictator. Massive dictator, beating you up, cuffing you in your own house, and they're leaving these stupid... Why do they do it? I'll tell you for why. They print their own warrants. The old Bill, there's no stopping them now. They just go, Sarge, I need a... Yeah, hang on. What a flipping fast. It's a joke. Anyway, it was on my other channel on Facebook. We're talking about how would you clear the streets of Dashwood. This is me just thinking out loud, right? Someone shared a fabulous picture with me yesterday. Now, I'm all about peace, love and charity. And sometimes stinky things ain't so bad if they're used in the right context. We know that the Gilets jaunes, the French yellow vests, started bagging up shit and throwing it at the police. And the police would run the other way. They go, oh, no, can't get up in uniform. No. Anyway, so we've got these manure guns. Farmers use manure guns. They do them. Like cannon fodder in manure all over the fields. You get them beautiful crops. These manure guns go on about 200-300 yards, throwing shit through the air. Unbelievable. So they said, well, how would you get past the guards at Downing Street, Dave? How would you get past the big boys with machine guns? I said, I'd get a manure gun. Oh, yeah. I think Downing Street would take about a minute to clear. You pull up, manure gun, bosh. All of a sudden, down the street's empty, covered in shit, and that's it. Game over. It don't take rocket scientists. Now, I've said you have to stand it. Look, I love the country. Generally, I do love the country, and there's nothing wrong with the country. It's the idiots that run it. That's the problem. The idiots that run this country, the draconians, the evil ones, why they're embroiled in evilness, Lord only knows. I've got no idea why they are so freaking evil. I can't put my finger on it. They are proper evil people. Proper evil people. Why we tolerate it, I don't know. Why we pay all the council tax and all these taxes? I stopped it all. So I said no to the tax man. Fuck off. I'm not sponsoring you people. You people are crazy. You're killing my country. You're killing the people of my country. And for what? For what? No, I'm not having it. So anyway, this was years ago. I started down. But I don't understand why we fund these people and we tolerate their behaviour. You know, if I went to work for someone and started putting them a bathroom in and like spent 2 days there and mucked it up and they threw me off, then they had every right to do that because it meant I would be incompetent at my job, you know. So that's a good thing. Then they go and get someone else to. So why do we put up with incompetence? Is it we just don't care? Don't we care that people are being beaten up by the old bill in their own homes now? Don't we care? I genuinely don't think we do care. I don't know. Maybe we are. The Apaches are rising in the White House. It may turn brown. Oi, go on, the Apaches. Gary Peters. Hello, Squire. Nice to see you, my old mate. Hey, Roy. Jamesy Goddard. Too many chemicals in the mix for farmers. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Roy Pierce says, hello, Jamesy. Are the demonstrations in London working? D. Allen. No, they're not. No, they're not. Do you know what they're good for? They're good for, and I'll give you a typical example, right? This is what the demonstrations are good for. Now, we need numbers. We need to switch the consciousness of people in this country. That's what we need to do. We need to switch the consciousness. And I'm going to give you a classic example. A mate of mine that I was playing golf with and at the same golf club for quite a few years. Beautiful man. He's quite a toughie. He's quite a big lad, Mark. And for the last 2 years, we are in touch all the time because he has woken up like there's no tomorrow. It's really hit him. It's really hit him. These current time periods we're in, all what's going on, it's hit him. It's really got him. Well, his missus works in looking after people, healthcare and this, that, the other. And she kind of listens to him and, you know, lets him get on with it like my missus lets me get on with my sugar. And my missus don't mither me with what I get up to. She's lovely. She's just very accepting of who I am and I'm accepting of who she is, you know. I've always said if Parliament had horses and unicorns in it, she'd be straight up there sorting it out because that's what she loves, horses and all that stuff. You know, we've got horses. But the point is this. My friend's missus went this weekend, just gone to this one. And in Hyde Park, he sent me a picture of his missus with a big beaming smile holding up a big placard, right, about all what's going on at the moment, surrounded by lovely people. And this was everything to me. Her smile and her beam meant that she was on board. It meant that she was enjoying the ride, that she wasn't getting deep down and dirty and all the conspiracy theories and this and that. Like, it can get really deep on you, but she was just happy to be there. And she was witnessing and looking and seeing hundreds of thousands of other people around her going, I feel the same way. She's in there. She's in. So that's what the demonstrations are good for. But what do they achieve? Nothing as of yet. However, that probably will change at some point when they get bigger. They're now talking on the 24th of July. There's going to be one in London, and I'm hearing stories that it's going to be massive veterans there, veterans from America. I don't know how they're getting over, but apparently they're coming over. They're talking there could be 3 to 4 million people. Now, you take the kids, you take the pension. Well, we've got a guy out of 100 that's been going in his wheelchair, pushing it along. Fair play to him. I've seen disabled people walk in. I've seen people with walking disabilities out there with big smiles on their face. That's what it's good for. That's what it's good. And that's why I won't demonise on anyone that's going on these days out, because for those of us that are well awake and been awake for many, many, many years, this time period is about getting the rest of the country to wake up with us. And as responsible people, we have a job to show them the light and shine the light on them. Now, look, I don't do all the gooey stuff, all the tambourine banging and all the kumbaya and the Krishna and that. That's not me. What is me is I know that there's something going wrong in this country, and it's being led by a group of people that are just wicked. So if good people like myself stand up and do nothing and let these people manifest their wickedness, then the wickedness will prevail. But if we all come together in greatness and at the rule of law and all the other stuff, like one of my favourite books, which I've got, L.L. Blake, The Rule of Law. But the police don't care about the law no more, ladies and gentlemen. They couldn't care about your civil liberties because they're spetsnats. They've gone beyond the threshold of law. They're now in tyranny. It's a massive difference between law and tyranny. Tyranny is all about force. It's all about machine guns. It's all about you're going to do what we tell you. And the reason why they demonise people that have weapons is because they don't like competition. They don't want the people of this country being able to protect themselves as God given them rights to protect themselves. They want to have all the weapons and all the control that comes with it. That's it. Nothing more. So the demos, what are they achieving? They're achieving a lot, actually. They are achieving a lot. And to get down on people and tell them that they're stupid for going and wasting their time. No, they're not wasting their time. They're not wasting their time at all, because you have to plant seeds and then them seeds get watered and then them seeds grow. And that's what it is with this. But no, I'll give you a classic example. I went to the first one that they held in London. And on the way home at the train station, there was a family there with a Rottweiler. And this Rottweiler was only a young couple of years old. And as you know, I don't know whether you know, but I had two Rottweilers together. Look, that's my two dogs there, right? And they're both passed away now. And I'm quite glad they're passed away, because this country's getting too wicked. And if the old Bill come round here, and if they ever hurt my dogs, I'm afraid I'd have to kill them. So I'm quite glad, in a way, because I've got such a passion about me. I couldn't have a copper come and kill my dogs without me having a bit of them. It's just how I am. But I went and had a cuddle with this dog, and I said to the guy, "Oh man, this dog's so good." I was having a cuddle, and she's licking my face. And I said, "What are you here for today?" He said, "Look," he said, I got to be honest." He said, "My wife and my kids," he said, "we've come today, and the dog, because we're in trouble. I know," he said, "that all what's going on at the moment is wrong, and if we allow it to persist, we crack on." So I said, "Well, fair play." I said, "What do you know about the straw man? What do you know about, all that sort of stuff?" And he just looked at me and went, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "You know what, that's fine. Because I know that now him waking up and going on that thing, he's going to be looking into other things, and he's going to get more power within himself." It's a great thing. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, the rest of the world, we are not slaves, right? We are not slaves, and we are being held in false conscription right now by a system that threw us overboard years and years ago. They couldn't care less about any of us. They couldn't care less about our daily lives, our daily bread, whether we're happy, whether we're sad. They're just going to smash the granny out of you, because they've become this force, this tyranny, this elitism. Now, whenever you write to a public servant, people that work in this, and they get all this attitude like chief constables and councillors, "Oh, I'm not listening to you. Your paperwork means nothing." Why do they take that approach? Because they think they're elite, because they think they're better than everybody else. That's the reason you're not getting the response you want. That's the reason they don't listen to basic English when you write your notices to them. When you write to notice to your chief constable, "No, actually, no, chief constable, I don't like that. I'm not doing this." And they write back saying, "We don't understand what you're saying." Basically, they're saying, we couldn't care less what you think. You're our bitch. And because you're our bitch, you're going to do what we say. If you don't, we'll send the boys round. So I hate that. I absolutely detest that. I detest it. I really do. And I, you know, for them to break into people's houses or let themselves into people's houses and pretty much beat them up in their own homes with no justification, with no proper warrant, not signed by a judge, and that they have then become Spetsnaz, and they have become a very dangerous thing. Now, whether you believe it or not, you're only going to feel the jackboot in the back of your head in that instance when they've let themselves into your home. When she had 10 coppers in her house going, police, 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 get down, get down, get down. She's in the toilet. She's going, fuck off, get out of my house. What the fuck are you doing? She dragged one copper back as he walked into her bedroom. And he said, if you do that again, I'll arrest you for assault. Look how cowardly they are. Look how fucking cowardly they are. Do you know, if I had white feathers, I'd be sending them to them in the post. They're cowards. Absolute coward cunts. They really fucking are. They wind me up beyond belief. They've gone too far. If they don't, you can sue the shit out of them. Well, I had a Rottweiler, her name was Bella. Oh, mate, I miss my two like you've got no tomorrow. When this copper was at my house last October on his own, I was chatting to him and he seen a little white dog I've got. And I said to him I had Rottweilers. And he said, that's a shame. He said, I'd like to have met him. I'm like, mate, you ain't come round here. We ain't having fucking cream tea and fucking scones, you cunt. What's the fucking matter with you? Sorry, I'm swearing today. They wind me up, the old bit. They wind me up. They're cowards. And I said, well, they're both passed away. I said, no, I'm glad they've passed away. He said, why is that? And I told him this to his face. I said, because if you'd have jumped that gate and they'd have gone for you, you'd have hurt them, and then I'd have had to have hurt you. And he looked at me, he was like that. I said, no, I fucking mean it. You'd have hurt my loved ones, my dogs. I'd have fucking hurt you bad. Man, why do we tolerate? I don't understand the mentality of the people in my country. Why do we tolerate their insolence? Why we pay their wages? We are their bosses, but we let them beat the Jesus out of us. I don't understand it, and I never will. I never, ever, ever will. Angie Hepburn, lovely to see you, Don. Have you seen the leak, True or Doc, about permanent lockdown? I don't think anyone's ever coming out of this time period. They're talking about they just kicked the can down the road. I don't know how long they're going to kick it down the road for. And all this stuff with Matt Hancock, it's baloney, man. It's John Belushi. It really is just absolute baloney. It's smoke and mirrors. It's bread and circuses. It's just how the Romans were. Give them bread and circuses. Give them wine and bread, and they will never ever kick off. And I just don't understand. You know, we can get together. What a great game of football last night. My life, England play, and the passion that gets into them boys and girls and that. They're hugging and why don't they get the same passion when social services are nicking children? Why don't they get the same passion when people are losing their houses? What is it they don't get? What is it? What part of their brain don't switch on? What part of their brain about self-preservation doesn't switch on? Why don't they care? That's the big question for me. They must know it goes on. They must hear stories of, oh, fuck me, the old Bill come round the other day, turfed me out my house, I'm homeless now. They must hear these stories. And yet they don't bat an eyelid. Not one bats an eyelid. They couldn't give a fuck. And that really, really, really... Why? Why don't they care? Don't they realise it could be them next? Where they've got some clown in a uniform acting in the capacity of PC dickhead 1, 2, 3, 4 that's kicking them out their ass. Don't they understand it could be them? That's the big thing for me. It's not why the police are getting away with what they're doing. It's why do we tolerate it? Why do we tolerate it? Why do we tolerate such insolent behaviour by us people that chose to serve, protect? Their oath was to protect property, life and liberty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if ever the people of our country, the 3 to 4 million, ever come together and say, you know what, we're taking back now. We're not just asking. We're not just out here demoing. We are actually going to take it back. All they need to do is get some farmers with some manure guns and Downing Street will be empty. And then you just go and take back what you want. Then you go and bring your politicians back to the rule of law. Met Police made £136 million in fines 2 years ago. If you want to find out how much Kent Police made, go to a website, dunnandbradstreet.com, and then click on the US flag. Oh, my God. How you going, Spearfro? I've been working on my BMW, so I've got a bit of holy clothing on and my Batman sock. I've been putting my old BMW back together. That's why I've got dirty hands, because I'm a grafter. I don't understand it, mate. You know, like I said earlier, if I started doing a job for someone, yeah, I'm Dave, I can do your bathroom. Yeah, I'll boss you, all right, don't worry. Yeah, mate, I'm sweet as that. I'm the best. And then in 2 days, I'm dog shit. And the people go, cool, we got a right cowboy here. They would never let me back in their house. They'd find someone else to do it. And that should run through councils. That should run through the police. If they start becoming dodgy and bad, out them. Get new lot. I don't understand it. I generally don't understand it. To me, it makes me... I've always thought, why? Why do people... I'll never forget, years and years ago, I must have been 11. This bloke called Tom was in his flat, and they come and turfed him out because he couldn't pay the few quid a week on rent, because I think he was ex-services. He got a bit down and depressed. He was in his 30s, and they just kicked him out of his flat. These coppers were the I'm like, fuck, we are just a nation of beggars, man. We are a nation of beggars, and we're being held in false conscription and slavery. We've really got to change our ways, but we are going to change our ways. We are going to level this, and when it happens, it's going to be so quick. It clearly says in here, Babylon falls in a day. I can't wait. I can't wait. I want coppers that are going to protect life. I want coppers that are going to make sure kids are okay. I want coppers that use their own discretionary powers again. I want coppers back to the rule of law, where the copper is as equal as you. Clearly ain't got that right now. We clearly haven't got that. Why do we tolerate other men and women charging us for shelter while it? Exactly. I don't understand it. This whole legal system, the whole system in this country is shot to shit, and people don't care. People just put their head down, and they're always dodging the bullet. Can it be a Wednesday, Lise? Davey Wilson, lovely to see you, Squire. Spear thrower, all I see is stripes. I am 100% ready. Gary, we need men. We need men and good women. We need good souls to stand up. And the thing is, this isn't hard to do. That's the sad part about this. You know, if I was saying, put yourself on the line, you're all going to die, I would never ask anyone to do that. But if 3 to 4 million people say, right, enough is enough, we've reached a decision that we're going to go and take back control of our country, we're going to bring our politicians back to the rule of law, and there will be no reasonable excuses for stepping outside the rule of law, and they're going to be subject to the rule of law. We don't have to turf them out. We don't have to get rid of Boris. We don't have to get rid of any of the MPs. Just them back to the rule of law. This has been in this country for 2,000 years. The constitution of this country is this book. This is our constitution. The Bible's our constitution, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't have to hurt them. We don't have to harm them. We just have to lean on them nicely. Bring them back to the rule of law. Daddy Dragon calls for it. I'll call for it. I don't want to see violence. I don't want anyone to come into any pain or discomfort. I really don't. But we need to get our country back, man. We really do. And the shit cannon, wow, what a fantastic... you ain't coming in here. What are you saying? Oh, you're running. Ta-ta. Grinder, gates down. I'm telling you now, if you was all brave enough to do that, 3 or 4 million of you, no leaders, just a general consensus, and you go and you get the gates down, the street's full of shit, someone opens up the door, and you go, there you go. There's a declaration from 4 million people. If you ain't back to the fucking rule of law tomorrow morning, where we're all equal and subject to the law, then we're coming back and we're going to fuck you. And that's it. It's game over. They would be back to the rule of law. We could all breathe a sigh of relief again. Our kids could grow up in a decent country. we can all have decent lives where we are all subject to the rule of law. Wouldn't that be good? Why don't no one want it? Why is everyone just dodging the bullet? Why is everyone just dodging the bullet? You know, my son quite a few years ago ended up in a police cell. Something happened. He got in a bit of a fight that was nothing to do with him, and he got quite hurt quite bad. And he said to me, the treatment, he said, yeah, they roughed me up a bit in there, Dad. I'm like, I don't want fucking public servants roughing us up. Who are these people? Where do they get their evil, wicked ways from? It's disgusting. Tankers can open gates. Shit tankers. Manure guns. Mate, I'm telling you, fantastic idea. I'll be in Jesus and fear none of them 100%. God bless you, Hugh. No, Gary, spray them with cow shit like the French do. Yeah, the French, they don't care. The French are on it. Coming from the Patriots in America, St. Hugh is supposed to happen this week. Let's hope so, D, but we've been waiting for all this stuff with QAnon and all this other bollocks to happen, and it ain't happened. We have to make it happen. We are the ones, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't about other people. This is about us as a country, as a people, as a race, as a species, saying we are not here to be treated like this. We are not your slaves. We are not in conscription. We have no obligation whatsoever to perform in person. None at all. And Boris, what is Boris? Boris is the head of a corporation. That's it. He's just the head of a corporation. He's not a for the people, by the people. We got a foreign corporation. I'll show you. We got a foreign corpus running this country, right? Now, Boris's real name is Alexander Boris de Pfeiffer. And what Boris does is he's performing an act of incorporation. The man called Boris purports to act in person through a fictitious corporate name as the representative for a Crown Corp franchise name, surname with the given rank of Johnson plus Alexander Boris de Pfeiffer, Prime Minister Johnson, upper caps, Chief Executive Officer of a company running a country as opposed to a sovereign. That's exactly what Boris is. Those are the facts. Boris runs a company, runs a limited company that's incorporated and run for profit. He's running a company, ladies and gentlemen, and the police work for him. And they're administering the corporate policy of that company. They're not sovereign. They're communist. They've crept in round the back doors. Damn. It's unbelievable. So what we said to Boris was, can you provide the contract? Can you provide the contract and obligation where I, a man, David, have to perform in person? Can't do it. Attach a copy of a birth certificate if I wish. I, man, called David Paul for the man of Merck to verify that my true Christian name under God is stated as a fact. David Paul. My name's David Paul. Myrtle was running the GRO office at the time, the General Registrations Office, until she started sending these, and then she fucked off, got a new job somewhere. So this is powerful. If anyone wants these affidavits of God, let me know. But then again, we are in a world of paper, and the government only operates on paper. That's why you sign all these mortgage deeds and council tax and all these inland revenues, because they're operating on paper. That's all they're operating on. But you can forget the paper. You can forget the law. When a guy's got a machine gun and cuffs and anal beads and he's knocking your back doors in, you're fucked. You forget law, forget it. You just got to think, this is tyranny. And they're tyrannical. The police are tyrannical. They don't like us. They hate us. They hate the people of this country. They have become a foreign occupying, invading force, bashing the granny and the bejesus out of us, and we seem to love them for it. Don't ask me why. They love back doors. Yes, they do. My neurological nurse called today. First question was about the prod. She gave some truth. She got some truth from me. She didn't have any counter argument. Call ended swiftly. Dancing is good for fitness and fighting. Wear a good T-shirt and scream for help. Well, I work out a lot. I'm having a bit of a day off today because I'm big time yesterday, and I've got boxing bags, I've got weight training, cycling, trampolines. We're doing all that stuff. I feel really, 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 really good. Just ask whether I be. They don't care. You know, they're coming in your house. They're coming in your house. Why? Because they're cowards. They're cowards. But then when there's a million people out on the streets, oh no. Oh, they go ever so quiet. Oh, they go ever. Oh, well, no, we can't attack no one today. We might get an hiding. We might get beaten up. No, we don't want to ruin our uniforms, do we? And then generally they wait when they want to get someone back. They've got this attitude of, well, we don't like what you've done today, so we're going to bash a few of you up because we're Spetsnaz, we're communist. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait until the nurses are singing Kumbaya with on their trampolines and playing fucking tambourines in the Hyde Park, and then they're going to go in and smash you over the head. One nurse a few weeks ago, she was caught on a video. She's like, I can't believe what I've just seen. She said the police just run in and started bashing people over the heads because they're singing with guitars and tambourines. Like, what the fuck? Bashing them over the head? Love it. Hey, Dave, I've got one of them for David's now. Hey, Michelle Bowser, fantastic, mate. So all you got to say to anyone in government, I'll accept everything you're saying. Whatever it is you're saying, I've got to dance on top of the fucking Twin Towers, no problem. But you show me the obligation that makes me and obliges me to perform in person, right? They can't do it. Because the person is the Achilles heel for the system. They always knew they had an Achilles heel. They really did. Michelle, hello, darling. Lovely to see you. You wearing them red shoes on Friday? If not, just do it for me. Quite like that stuff. DJ on the bike. Oh, did you see the DJ van there this weekend? Man, everyone was going. Honestly, guys, the atmosphere of this weekend with the amount of people there, the atmosphere was electric. It was super fabulous. Super fabulous. It was just amazing. And they got this big DJ van and everyone's in the street dancing. That's the England I remember from years ago when I was a kid. That's the kind of people I remember all gathered together, coming together, standing side by side. It was fantastic. So if you're not part of it and you've not ever been on one, try it. Go and feel the energy. They'll all get it one day. And they're waking up all the time, and then they're going home. They talk to their friends, their neighbours, their loved ones. And their mates going, "Oh, are they really? Are they?" And there was how many there? 3 million. Cool. Sounds like quite a bit. I'm coming along. And then they turn up and they go along. It's fantastic, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And it's the way forward is to encourage everyone to embrace what's going on and to say, you know what? We don't care whether the BBC ain't showing. We don't care whether the ITV ain't showing none of this, and be careful. There's going to be some food shortages coming soon. We're seeing supermarkets now on fresh stuff, not putting stuff out on the shelves or not being able to get stuff. So be careful. Stock up some food stocks if you can get it, some dried stuff. Make sure you've got enough to get by. And don't go mad for the loo rolls. Don't worry about it. Just go to your local park and pull some things off trees. Get some oak leaves. Yeah, it's amazing. So, you know, it's really good to see everyone coming together. We're now at last, you know, when we're in London and them amount of people there isn't a force on this earth that can stop you doing anything. If you wanted to go into the Bank of England and take over the Bank of England, guess what? You go and take over the Bank of England. There ain't no one stop. You wanted to go into London and there's 3-4 million of you. You want to go and take over the local council building. There ain't no one stopping you doing it. That's how great this is. That's how our Heavenly Father works. He's now putting the spirit in all of us. You know, he woke quite a few of us up years ago, but now he's waking more up, and it's more and more and more and more and more. One of my mates was in the Open qualifier last weekend on Sunday, I do believe. He qualified to take part in the Open and to see if he could qualify. He got 6 over. He didn't make the cut. But when I see him walking through London with his backpack on, I says, "You lost out." And he went, "Andy." I said, "Andy, you lost." He went, "No, Dave." He says, "I'm here with these lot." I went, "What, with all the millions of people?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "I've just had some massive spiritual awakening, brother." I went, "Oh my days. My goodness, thank the Lord, man. I'm telling you, honestly, people, the big man upstairs is waking people up like there's no tomorrow right now. And you can call it whatever you like, but trust me, I know how the spirit works. I feel for the spirit. I know how it moves things. And the good Lord works in mysterious ways. We're told this. But once that spirit manifests in someone, there's no putting that out. Not at all. And everyone's going to have to wake up at some point because they're coming for everybody. They're going to affect you in some way in your life. And it can happen tomorrow. So, like, you get up out of bed in the morning, your missus gets up and she puts her bra on and her top and her pants and she puts her work uniform on and red heels and all that. And she says, right, I'm off to work now, love. I'll see you later. Are you on a promise tonight? I'll be like, oh, fucking hell, what a day I'm going to have. Because you can't concentrate when lads get put on a promise. But then she goes out, goes down the road, does 40 and a 30. Next thing, she's been pulled over by a plod. And because they don't like what she's saying, they're going to give her a good hiding, take her down the cell and smash the granny out of her. How are you going to feel? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Because you can't. Because they're a force to themselves. And your missus will be violated. She'll have to live with that mentality for the rest of her life, knowing what they've done to her. Now they can search your bum, your vag, your Jap's eye, wherever it is they want to look down. No doctors there, nothing. They just pull your fucking pants down and the world's their oyster. They're in there having a right old rummage around. Who the fucking hell are these people? Who are they? Sick scumbags. I'm not sure that goes down on the old job description too well when they apply to become plod, do you? And because you're on your radio all the time. Come and join the police for an exciting career. Exciting career? You like looking up arseholes? Fuck me. Not everyone is going to wake up sadly. Oh, I don't know, Jesus Jones. I think there's a lot of people really going to be shook to the core this year. I genuinely think that this is the year for the great unveiling. Trust me, it's coming. They have metal detectors. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You don't know. You're in your belief, your missus has just gone about her daily business, but next thing she's in peril, and she won't she could be totally asleep, paying all of her taxes and this, that, the other. Next thing, she's having all this going on, all this caper going on by her lovely, trusted public servants, and she must, and who's going to save her? Who's going to rescue her? Nobody. I think personally the police cells nowadays are fucking torture chambers. No one's there to help you. It's a bit like when you went for a Gestapo interview, when they used to sit at a table and offer you a cigarette and say, oh, yeah, and they've got two of their Spetsnaz stood behind you, and you're thinking, fucking hell, if I don't tell the truth here, I'm going to have the old thumb screws on. They're going to give me some psychotriptic drugs and probably kill me, and that's how I see police cells now. I don't see them as nice places. There's certainly no one for the people, by the people, monitoring them and making sure bad stuff's not going on. And I hate to think how many people have been murdered in them. No one gives a shit. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. People at home watching football, they don't care. Couldn't care less. But one day it could be them. That's the irony about all this, that it could one day be them. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone out there's a saint. They're not. And we can all descend into devils in an instant. If someone come into my house of a night time wanting to have a bit of me and my missus at 3 a.m, wanting to rob us and murder us, you damn sure I've got, I'm going to take care of that situation. So I would descend into a devil in an instant, because I'm not going to fall at the hands of these idiots that want to come and attack me. Not a chance. So in that moment, we all can have that split decision of how we perform. But I just don't see many people with backbone anymore that have got true morals and true standards and are prepared to stand, It's when nobody has relatives, they die, and they call the young ones in uniform to come and look. So disrespectful. It's disgusting, Kerry-Ann. They're animals. They're sick. They're sick beyond belief, mate. In their heads, they own you. They're told and taught, yeah, we own the peasants. They're fucking ours, man. You want to bring them in, you do what you like to them. Yeah. Extract them, extract all the money out of them, take all their stuff, take their phones, take their houses, take their cars. Fuck them. That's their mentality now. So maybe, just maybe, at some point, we're going to have to get the old manure guns out and go and do a very worthwhile deed and bring our politicians back to the rule of law before this gets really out of hand. Because I guarantee you, every single day that you let them get away with their inclemencies, they're going to get that little bit more brazen and a little bit more closer to actually doing even more wicked things to us. So tread carefully, people. Tread carefully on what you allow, what you tolerate as a people, as a race, as a species. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Like going to Hitler and asking if it's okay to do whatever we want. There you go. We have a situation like that now. I see that there is no difference between the police and the SS. There is no difference. The SS used to kill people. Where's your papers? Ain't got any. Running away, boss, shoot you in the back. You shouldn't have to have papers to do anything in this country. You shouldn't have to wear a lanyard round your neck to go shopping. That's all communistic dictates. Whether you've got a deadly fucking killer jibber jabber virus or you haven't, you have the right to go and do whatever you want to do. I don't get it. What does a piece of paper prove anyway? You know, what does a certificate of insurance prove? What does an MOT what does paper prove? It proves nothing. It's not real, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fictitious world. It's just not real. And we wouldn't need all this nonsense if we were decent people and we looked out for one another. Like in my local area, a woman and her kid were walking back yesterday in all the rain, and someone in their car went up close to them and just splashed the bejesus out of them in a puddle. And I'm like, why would you do that? You'd stop. You'd make sure you didn't do that. I mean, but people, they're crazy fuckers now. They've lost the plot. They've lost any decency and morality. And we was always a decent moral country. That's the sad part about this. Our grandparents, our ancestors had morality. They lived by morality. They lived by a moral code. But we are in a snare situation right now. We really are. A very, very snary situation. And it's getting worse by the day. And people don't care. But I just hope that 3 to 4 million people have the courage and the spirit and the mindfulness to actually do something fabulous. And if they do, all bets are off for the system. Bring them back to the rule of law. I have no wish to change any judge, any copper, any prime minister, anyone at the head of any corporation. Why? Because that's going to cause turmoil. That's going to cause real hardships. And no one wants to go through hardships. But if we bring them all back to the rule of law, and if we bring them back to a people, by the people, for the people government, things might change. Things will get better. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want greatness? You know, greatness is an abundance, and greatness should be sought after. We're going to get there. Make no mistakes. We are going to get there. Use paperwork to represent the living man and woman. It clearly tells you not to use it for identification. People can't read the small print or anything. More like 1,000 miles. Jesus Jones, love it to see it. We've had some really good stuff recently with our local courts, in as much as if they're looking for a person, we send them the birth certificate and we say crack on, and then we say, you know, if there's a man or woman claiming any injury, harm or damage, then we'll settle with them. We'll settle privately. You're not being dishonourable. But if it's not, if it's a trust and it's a public trust, then here's the trust, the birth certificate. As the settler of that trust and the living, breathing soul and spirit, you have our full agreement to settle all parties. And it fucks them. They can't go nowhere because you've covered both areas. You've said if there's a man or woman making a claim against me that I've harmed them in some way, no worries. We're settled privately. You have the absolute right to settle privately. Listen, if I'm out in my little BMW when I get it back out on the road, and the aim is when I get that back out on the road, it won't be taxed, insured, and MOT because it won't be registered to any fucking private foreign corporation called the DVLA because they're communists. And if I have any trouble, I'll settle privately. And that means if I settle with you privately, Why have I got to involve this public system, which is a fiction in any case? You don't have to. And if we was all left alone in our families to sit on our equity, to stay private, and that the public was only allowed to affect corporations like pubs, clubs, businesses, warehouses, that's fine. They can pay their taxes, but leave private men and women alone. That's where we've got to get back into the private. You have the absolute right to settle privately in whichever way that you want to, so that any aggrieved party coming at you is fine and you've not harmed them, because the law is no injury, harm or loss. But in the fictionist world, well, there is no morals. It's just whatever's legal and what is illegal. And if they made it legal tomorrow to shoot you dead on the spot, guess what? They're going to shoot you dead on the spot. There's no morals involved. None at all. Beep, beep, leave me alone, corporations. Absolutely. I believe it won't be long, just passing through that. God bless you. It's coming. It's coming. There is no stopping it. I am possessed with the Spirit. I've always had the Spirit. And I know in my heart, I can feel it, that things are changing and it's going to be good. I think they do undercover and need to look like highwaymen. Absolutely have the right to settle in private. Peter robs Paul, Paul robs Peter, settle in the private. You don't need none of this public accommodation. And that's the reason why they want us to use all this public accommodation, is because they've got you by the balls. They're mugging you. It's a mafia. We need to kick the mafia into touch and bring this country back to the rule of law and bring it back to the Constitution. This is the Constitution. This book is the foundation of the Constitution, and it is the Constitution. It's everything. Taught the wrongdoers. Yes, mate. Nice to see you, Zevi. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd come in and offer that this afternoon. Shit guns is what we need. If ever, because Peter said to me, yeah, Dave, if we get to Downing Street, how are we going to stand the boys and girls with machine guns down? Very easy. Manure guns. That's it. They'd be gone in an instant. They'd be running and getting their pillboxes. And then once that's all covered, that it's so easy. That's just one way. There's loads of other ways you could stand them down. And if 4 million people come together and say, yeah, we'll have the gates off today, we'll open the gates up. We're going to weld the gates open. And then we tell the politicians that the gates are welded open and they're never to be shut again. Because that way, the politicians are subject to everything that you're subject to. Do you get it? Does it make sense? I hope it does. I love my country. I love the people. I love you all so much that I'm prepared to stand, that I'm prepared to do something that my grandchildren and my children don't have to live in a world of tyranny where just round the corner they face peril from the very system that swore to protect them. That's the big thing for me. I'll see you all soon. Stay blessed. All right. Now, I am a walking miracle, as you know. I've not partaken in none of this lockdown business at all in any way, shape or form. And I've not participated in any government things that they've offered me in the post. I've said no to all the snake oil peddlers, and I've never worn any face covering. Why? Because first of all, I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I'm not bothered. I really don't care. And I'm going to walk my truth, my life, my body, my temple. People don't like it. Fuck them. I'll see you all soon. Love ya.